What's going on, everybody? My name is Justis. I'm with my guy.
It's popping. It's popping. It's your boy Tyaire. How y'all doing?
And you tune into the Silky Boys podcast, or this podcast out for sports news, what's going on in the culture. Tyaire, how you feeling this week, bro?
I'm chilling, bro. How you feeling?
I'm doing all right, bro. I'm covered from a little bit of a cold I got earlier this week, but we doing good. We're pressing through. We got a few things to tackle this week in world sports, so let's get right into it. There's been some movement on the Ben Simmons trade radar. Just a little movement. Brad Stevens, GM of the Sixers, GM of the Celtics, contacted Daryl Morey and Elton Brand of the Sixers in regards to the Ben Simmons situation, just to see where they're at right now, and have engaged somewhat in potential trade talks. Now, these talks didn't really gain that much traction. It's really more just Brad Stevens doing his due diligence as a GM just to see where the situation is on the Sixers end. How is he mentally? Would you guys be willing to trade him? Of course. And let's see if we can possibly make a deal down the road. Obviously, a deal for Ben Simmons to the Celtics would have to include Jaylen Brown, and I was messing around with the trade machine. They can do it one for one. Celtics don't have to add any picks. Don't have to give up any more of their players. None of that. It can just shouldn't be a straight up trade of Jaylen Brown for Ben Simmons. And hypothetically speaking, if that were to happen, I kind of like that trade on both sides.
That trade would be dumb on the Celtics part. I don't see the gain the Celtics will honestly get out of getting Ben Simmons. Like, that trade would just be a gift for Daryl Morey and the Sixers. So if Brad Stevens was honestly considering that trade, his job should be in consideration as well, because Ben Simmons fitting with Jason Tatum, I don't see that working at all.
I can see it working from this standpoint. Tatum, he'll get an actual true steal if Simmons is in it. That's the key thing about this. If Simmons' mind in it, his mind's in the right place, if he does get traded, he'll be a great facilitator for Jason. He'll be a lockdown defender, and he'll be a guy that will defer to Jason. That could potentially work in a world. I can see it happening.
Ben Simmons is currently out with mental health issues, which is warranted, because he doesn't want to deal with the pressure of having to face a Philadelphia crowd. If he gets traded to the Boston Celtics, it's an even worse crowd that he's going to have to face, and they're not going to be happy that Jaylen Brown is traded. So I just don't see a world that this trade works. You could talk all the specifics, but just everything surrounding this is not a good look for the Celtics to get their hand on this trade. It's just not something I would do if I'm Brad Stevens as my first year as a GM.
Maybe not the first year, but I can see it potentially happen, because right now the Celtics are just in a situation where they are questioning whether they can win with Jaylen and Jason. That's still up in the air. Personally, I think they could make it work. But right now, both those guys are alphas on the same team, and they do pretty much the same role on the team. Now, people can say, well, look at the Clippers. They have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and they were able to make it to a conference finals out west. And, yeah, it does make sense. But with the timeline where the Celtics are right now and those two young players' development, I don't know if you're really going to get as much success as those guys, because you have to remember, Paul George, he went there when he was close to 30 years old. He already came into his own. He came from Indiana and OKC, where he's one of the main guys. Kawhi, he was on the Spurs team where he won Finals MVP. He went to Toronto, won the championship his first year, won Finals MVP. Those guys were already established players and then team together. These guys are coming into their own together at the same time, and where their roles really aren't that defined.
Yeah, I agree, but I just don't think Ben Simmons is worth blowing up that for. I don't think he's worth the value of trading Jaylen Brown. I just don't think that's equal value at this point in time.
I can see it. I can still see it. I don't know. It's just something to potentially monitor. Like I said, Brad Simmons just did his due diligence just to see, hey, where are we at right now with Ben Simmons, and who knows? Who knows if that's going to end up happening? But anyway, moving on from it, let's get into the biggest sports news of the week. Odell Beckham is going to the Rams. The Rams have assembled the 2014-2015 Pro Bowl rosters with Odell, Matt Stafford, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Von Miller. And they're just going all in this year. They're going all there. They're putting all their chips in the middle of the table and saying, this is the year where we win our Super Bowl finally. However, with this trade now comes a lot of expectations, and they had already a lot of expectations coming into the season. Now they've added even more expectations now because of this move. So I feel like right now, that should be the one thing to really stop them from winning the Super Bowl.
Oh man, right now all I could think of is the song Tupac "To Live and Die in LA" right now, because that's what it is for the Rams right now. They're putting all their chips in that they're doing it this year. They're gonna live and die in LA. They're putting all their all their money on them, and they want to play home for the Super Bowl like the Bucks did last year, and they want to win it all. And that's been the case since the jump in the summer when they got Matt Stafford. When I was like, okay, this might be my Super Bowl pick because they were aggressive. I didn't think they were ever going to really blow up the team and trade away Jared Goff. I didn't think that McVay was ever going to pull that trigger because you did trade up to get him. We traded first round picks to get Jared Goff. So blowing that up after he did take you out to the Super Bowl, although he lost, he still took you there. So for him to blow it up, I knew they were serious then. And then they got more serious as we talked about getting Von Miller 2 weeks ago. And then now they go get Odell Beckham, who was looking for a home, and LA is just a city of stars right now. And you can just look through every sports team in LA. It has at least 2 superstars on the team. So it's just like right now, this is the move. And if they lose, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow because you did a lot for this. But I feel like Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. I feel like it's too many collective minds. I feel like they're going to come together and make it work. And Odell's coming home. He got his house in LA. He got LeBron. He got all his friends. Drake. He's gonna be home. He's gonna play well, and I feel like it's gonna work out well for them. So my Super Bowl pick is still Ravens as of right
now. And now they already had a team to compete with the Bucks, but now I feel like they have a team that can go punch for punch with the Bucks. Now with just adding a legitimate third option at receiver. They still have a great defensive line, a solid defense overall. They have a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, a great offensive line, and a great coach as well on top of that. So I'm expecting the Rams to be playing the Bucks in the NFC Championship game. And like I said, the only thing that could really see them stopping them losing is themselves. Again, just based off expectations. The only thing I worry about this move is if they off rip just getting Odell, if they kind of automatically assume that the Super Bowl is theirs to be taken. And I feel like if they do get into that mindset, especially if they see once Odell gets worked in and they are looking like this high-powered offense and they're able to get stops on defense, that's going to be one thing that's ultimately going to be their downfall. And by the way, just like Odell's going to take like 2-3 weeks to him to get fully acclimated into the offense, but when that does, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, and their schedule is going to be tough. They got a lot of good teams they got to face in these upcoming games, so they're going to get tested, and we'll see how they come out. But if they get that home field advantage, I think they only will have to beat the Cardinals because they already beat the Bucks. So if they get home field advantage, that's just another plus for them. That's just you got to win 4 straight home games. You all got to win all home games and you can get to Super Bowl. Just think about it as that. So they got a lot of chips on their side. They just got to execute, like you said. It just depends on what they do.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, Cam's back with the Panthers. Cam is back with the Panthers. Right now, Sam Darnold is dealing with a shoulder injury that's going to keep him sidelined for the next 4 weeks. They were thinking about Panthers rather thinking about PJ Washington being their starting quarterback, but they saw PJ Washington. I don't know if we can survive with him at quarterback for the next couple of weeks. So what they do, they texted their ex, said, "Come back, like come through, come back, like you still. I know you still got my key. No, you already know the accommodations unlocked. Just come back on over." And Cam is back in Carolina.
You couldn't live with your defeat, so look where that brought you back to me, man. And it's like Thanos' oldest line always rings true in these situations. Like we said, if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm really like I don't know how to feel about my career at this point. Like I'm just in a limbo. Like I had a great first 3 games. People was like, "Oh, I'm a new man. I'm the new Drew Brees. Maybe I'm about to have a whole second genesis of my career." And then Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. I struggle a little bit, and then I struggle a lot. And then I get hurt like my usual time around midseason. I get hurt, my annual injury. So, but this time, I thought I was with a franchise that cared for me. They traded to get me. They were promising to build a new future around me. They want to develop me. And mid-season, when I get hurt, the first thing they do is get back with their old ex-quarterback. And now you're just like, I don't know what to do. So if I'm Sam, I think his stint with the Panthers is done. I think that's what this move kind of insinuates. Like we're gonna rock back with Cam, see where we end up with the draft. Next year, quarterback draft is kind of weak, but then the year after that, that's a strong quarterback draft. We'll push for that. If Aaron Rodgers might want to do something in the offseason, we'll see. But Sam, it's not going to work. And if Cam can get us in slightly playoff position, it's cool. It's a feel good story. It's home again. But Sam, yeah, it's done. But on the Cam side, it's cool to go back home. He's back in the league because I wanted him back in the league. I said there's not a lot of quarterbacks that was as good as him. So it's good to see he's back. And he's familiar with the team, familiar with the players. He is going to learn a new system. But I feel like Joe Brady's gonna work him into that, and it's gonna be good for them. They're gonna fight hard, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs. But they're gonna give the Bucks and the Saints a run for their money. But it's just a funny situation overall.
Yeah, and like it's good to have Cam back in Carolina. Like that's the place he always wanted to be at. That's the place where he always wanted to stay. And on the same down, like this doesn't help when he's on the final year of his contract. This is the final year of his contract. Panthers have not chosen to extend him, and it's just a bad situation for him right now. Because if you're saying right, if you're saying all right, get healthy at the end of these 4 weeks, see where you are right now, see where you are. That'll be week 14, right? You have about 3 games left, and you might make the playoffs. You might not make the playoffs. Like it is a 50-50 chance, right? Like if Cam's playing good, like I don't think he's getting his job back. Like I don't think that's happening. And if you make the playoffs, they go on a run. Let's say they make it to the second round. That's a feel good story to add just for Cam, right? They're not gonna resign him in the offseason. Like they're not realistically gonna resign him in the offseason. He's gonna end up in the same situation Mitch Trubisky's in right now. He's gonna sign up as like a backup to somebody else. He's gonna be fucking Kyler's backup. He's gonna be fucking Dak's backup.
He's gonna be with the Chiefs or something, bro. It's like,
yeah, like I feel bad for Sam. He's just a good guy, and like I just wanted him to succeed so badly. I really did, bro. It's just like this dude just can't catch a break, bro. Just when it seems like okay, he might be like a legit like above average starter, he's not even that. He can't even like bask in his glory for that long either. Like in Carolina's over here, like Carolina fans at the beginning of the season thinking like, oh no, we actually have like a legit quarterback. We have something. We have a team on offense. No, just no.
Robbie Anderson cursing him out on the sidelines. It's just not a good look for him overall, bro. Like he might not even be hurt. He just be like, God, I'm out. I'm sitting down. I'm cool.
I can't deal with this no more.
Like, bro, you're not even in New York anymore, and you still dealing with this type of shit, bro. And they tried to blame it on us. No, it's just he wasn't that guy.
It was not that guy, bro. The fact that he throws 9 interceptions against the Patriots. So wild since insane. Threw 9 against the Patriots, and he threw what, like 2, 3 in his game with Carolina. That's bad. You can't blame the Jets totally on us. You blame some of it, but not the entire thing.
Yeah, it was a whole culmination of bad things to come, bro. But I'm just glad that we were moved on, bro. Because if you would have stayed another season, tried to draft like Jamar Chase or some shit, like it would have been a bad situation.
It would have been really bad. We would have been Carolina. we would have been Carolina. We would have been in the same place. Like, damn, we have some good skill position players. Have an alright offensive line, but we don't have a fucking quarterback. And this year's quarterback guy isn't that good.
Exactly. We signed Cam or some shit.
Like, okay, sign a veteran for a year. Just hope that like we tank and see who we can get in next year's draft. Like, okay, we'll see what happens.
We would have been a team with a great like overall team, but just a trash quarterback, bro. Like that.
Bro, we would in the Broncos, dog. bro, we would have been the Broncos. Wow.
Thank God we pulled the trigger fast on that, bro. The Dolphins is looking at that same situation now, though. That's where the Dolphins is at right now. No cap.
Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Joe. Bro, did you hear John Gruden's in the news again?
No.
Did you hear about this? It just broke today, right?
Nah,
so John Gruden is suing the NFL. He is suing Roger Goodell and the NFL, basically saying the leaked emails were orchestrated in order to defile his character, essentially. I'm pulling up the article right now. This is a quote from his attorney saying, quote, "There is no explanation or justification for why Gruden's emails were the only ones made public out of the 650,000 emails collected in the NFL's investigation of the Washington football team, or for why the emails were held for months before being released in the middle of the Raiders season." And the attorney also goes on to say that the leaking of the emails was, quote, "a Soviet-style character assassination." So that's what's going on right now.
That's tough, but like, I didn't know you could sue somebody for like, I'm not racist. Like they call me racist, I'm suing. Like, bro, I didn't know that was a thing you could sue for. But whatever, it's shiesty that he was the only one called out. But bro, you still were called out. Like that doesn't remove the fact that you were called out. Like I guess he just suing on principle, but it's like, bro, you did enough damage, bro. Just look at the Raiders today as we speak, bro. Like they've been through enough, bro. Just like sit down and just shut up, bro. Like enough is enough. Like,
bro. Like, bro, you got fired, bro. You still got your contract, bro. Just you not even fired. You resigned, bro. You resigned. You still got the majority of the money from that contract that you signed, dog. So just chill.
and that contract was, when you look back in history, it'd probably be the worst NFL head coach signing ever.
That might be one of the worst sports signings in history. Looking back on it,
like
not even coach, just signings in general. Like it's up there.
Like what he did in that tenure was it was bad. Like he like Phil Jackson, hold my coffee. Like I can do worse.
Just made a whole bunch of just curious moves in the draft. The team like barely improved from year to year, and this was the 1 year where it seemed like, oh, the Raiders are actually nice this year. They can actually do something this year, and then you got this whole fiasco go down. It's like, dog, you probably shouldn't have been hired as the Raiders head coach in the first place, to be honest. Like that was clear to see. Like after reports came out from your players saying like we can play like our game. We don't have to worry about being yelled at the sideline. We can actually play normally under normal circumstances and more comfortable circumstances. So to say, like you just, and like this happens a lot too, like throughout like other sports leagues and like for coaches and also for players, like you were good in your era, but the game changes, it evolves, and eventually it comes to a point where you're not fit for the era that you're currently living in right now. Like that's just what it is. Like NBA players from the 80s, most of those low post players, power forwards and centers, couldn't play in today's NBA game. Like they'll be played off the court. That's just simple playing. Like you worked back then, but you're not going to work now. That's just what it is. And this is the same thing with John Gruden. You were a good coach back then. You got your Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. You had your career announcing on Monday Night Football. That was cool or whatever. Like some people liked you, some people did. It is what it was. You still got a check from it at the end of the day. But ultimately, like you either should have stuck to that or just sat on the couch watching football again. That's it.
Because now you set the Raiders back like 5 years, like franchise wise, no cap.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the Raiders now have to do some soul searching for themselves after your whole fiasco. So great job. You were the guy that's supposed to you brought him in to fix this whole situation. You made it 10 times worse. Good job, though. And now you're showing the NFL just for being like, oh, defamation of character and everything else. Like, dude, like.
You're a racist, bro. Like, you cannot, that's not defaming, it's the truth, bro.
Like, that's essentially what he's going off of, though. Like you said, I'm just on principle. It's just like, dude, like, you're still a fucked up human being. You're still a fucked up human being. At the end of the day, if people don't want you, if your employers don't want you in the building, they're not gonna want you in the building. They're not gonna keep you around. So boom, just leave, just kick it, dude. Like I said, like, you have most of the contract already, so just chill with that. You're home in Vegas, in Tampa, I'm sure they're lovely homes, and I'm sure you can look out to your pool and enjoy the nice weather and be like, this isn't so bad.
Just cool out, man.
It's crazy. But, bro, you know what's crazier? This whole PSG fiasco. Have you heard anything about this?
Nah, I haven't heard anything about it.
This is perfect. Okay. So PSG, that is a football club in France over in Europe. So let me just read you the headline. PSG women's midfielder Amina Nada Diallo in custody after alleged attack on Kerry Hemmerly. So PSG women's midfielder was in police custody after allegedly arranging to have her teammate attacked. He says that Diallo offered her teammate a ride, and then their car was reportedly stopped by two masked men who pulled the woman out of their vehicle. One of them is said to have held Diallo while the other assaulted her teammate with a metal bar. Yeah. And basically, in connections, are trying to say that Diallo orchestrated this in order to essentially limit the playing time of her teammate, essentially, and stop her from competing whatsoever.
Bro, what is going on, bro? Like, I feel like history just repeats itself. Like, is this woman Tanya Harding reincarnated? Like, what is going on right now? Like, is this a Geno Smith teammate situation? You owe me money, you're not gonna give it to me. Now I have to send the shooters at you. Like, but the fact that you identically do something that is known iconically in sports, like, it's documentaries on this event, and you do the exact same crime, it's like you meant to do it. And that's the only thing I could think of. Like, she was just watching ESPN one day, saw the Tanya Harding doc. She was scrolling through HBO, saw I, Tanya or something. It was like, yo, this is a dope idea. Like, this is a dope, I should recreate this in real life with my teammate that been playing around with me in practice. I got to go hit her up on some Tupac stuff. She was riding around with Blast and King Von ready to slide on her teammate, bro. Like, like, what is going on in PSG that this is like this is on the women's side? If the men's side is going crazy messy, what's going on in the locker room, bro? Like, what's going on over there, bro? Like, if it's Goonies up like this, that's why I'm just waiting for the 30 for 30, bro. That's all I can really say. I'm just waiting for the doc to come out on this, bro. Because I just feel like we reliving the 80s and the 90s all over again, bro. Because, like, stories like this and then, like, it just doesn't make sense, bro. Like, what?
22. Yeah, it's wild. I saw that headline. I was just like, wait, she did what now? And, like, of course, me just think about, like, isn't this exactly what happened to, like, Tanya Harding all those years ago? Like, have we not learned? Like,
it's just like, was he trying to get up in the depth chart? Was her?
They're basically, it's for people are having the theories that it's over playing time. Essentially, she wanted to injure her teammate in order to prevent her from competing for her playing time. Essentially, this is all over PT.
You could have slid on the coach. Like, you didn't have to hurt your teammate, dog. Like, this is wild, bro. It's wild right now. That's tough. You're on the bench, so you trying to fight her, bro. Like, not even fight her, you injure her, bro. Yeah, arrest that girl, bro. Lock her door under the jail. As far
Bro,
as
it's not like you even, bro. It's not like you even find her one on one. You hire people to do it. Like you hire,
you're
like you hire
doing
the
all
shooters to
this,
do
go
it.
practice. You're doing all this extra shit. Go practice and earn the spot, bro. Like you paying hitmen, riding around, planning schemes and stuff. Go practice. You're doing too much. That's why you're not starting over her. That's the reason. Like what?
Yeah, that's what's going on with BSU right now. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Crazy. All right, let's get into the culture. Let's get into it. Astroworld Festival. That was wild. Yeah. So Travis Scott held Astroworld Festival, his own festival, over this past weekend. Unfortunately, 9 people died. Another 20 plus were injured and sent to the hospital. Yeah, like when I first heard about this and like started seeing the videos of it online, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like it to me, like it just didn't seem real. To me, it just didn't make any sense. And then, you waited a day, you waited 2 days, and then you actually start to see and hear more of the stories that came out, more of the reporting that came out from the whole situation. And the thing that I got out of it most of all, that like this is like a failure on all parties involved. This is like, should Chavez be blamed for, hosting it and take some responsibility? Yes, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, he's the reason why those people are there. That 50,000 crowd people was there. But this is also on security. This is also on emergency services. Like I said, just everyone involved. Just crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah, man, we living in a wild time, bro. Like when I saw this, I was like, what is going on? And then, like you say, you just read some of the firsthand accounts on what was happening there. It was like, felt like a scene out of a movie. And you just, like you said, it got to be blame put on everybody. And it's just off with Travis just having an event, even like just how you frame stuff beforehand. That's why you got to be careful what you post on social media, because anything can be used against you after the fact. So just like even encouraging fans to like rush the gate if there's not enough people, like if it's max capacity, rush the gate, we're still sneaking people in. Like even having that out there causes trouble, because that means from off the rip there were too many people there. So that's means there's already a problem, because if people sneaking in, that means people have guns, all type of stuff. So like the show shouldn't even have started if that's a problem of people sneaking into the concert. So that's why I just started as like event staff, coordinators, like somewhere along the line, this should have been halted where y'all had a capacity level and people still snuck in. That's the problem, because now security is not equipped. Security hasn't scanned these people that snuck in. So that was off rip. So that was where trouble lies, where it has to be put blame on the event staff. Travis's people have to be aware of, okay, people have snuck the gate before we started the show. Like I've been to concerts where like there's been fights at the gates, stuff like that, and the show will be on a pause because stuff is going on outside the gate. So they have to focus their attention out there. So like I guess if since it's Travis, it's not like another event. It's on this Astroworld. It's him. So like you put this together, whoever you have coordinating this, they have to know like, yo, this is going on. We got to hire more security or whatever. So that falls on them. But then like when the show starts, that's where it's crazy and you can't really say much because like, yeah, he's seeing stuff, but it's 100,000, 70,000 people out there. Like you could see it's a lot going on. Like, yeah, you see it's an ambulance, but that happens a lot. But I feel like once you see enough people, like you hear people, like it's a video I saw, like somebody's dying out here, and you hear, like if you could hear that somebody telling you that, I'm just gonna stop the music and stop the show at that point. I don't care what's going on. We could just turn all the lights on in this. If it gets rowdy, that's worse, because keeping the show going on is only gonna make it worse. So like I see what people saying, oh, if you stop the show, it's gonna get worse. It's worse already. So like it could get worse, but it's already at that point. What is me up there still do dancing, Drake coming out still doing? Because it was like a report. They said it was declared a mass casualty at a point to like Live Nation in them, and they said they were still performing 30 minutes after that, and that's a problem. Then if a mass casualty is declared, then there should be no performing, and that's the only where I said it's a blame on all parts. But overall, it's a tragedy. I feel like, of course, Travis is going to get sued, but other than that, I feel like he shouldn't really face jail time or anything like that. It's just really just like lawsuits, and then but it's gonna be tough on him just because how he handled it afterwards, like the apology video, all that stuff. But it's gonna be tough because like this is the culture you have around your music. But other than that, I can't really say much, bro. But like overall, it's just a sad situation.
Yeah, and like for me personally, like if I'm an artist and I gotta stop a show twice for something, for like just to make sure that like people are okay, like I'm canceling the show right there. Like once it's something, but twice, no, like I can't take that chance, like at all, because clearly something's up. People are not comfortable. People are in a position where they could possibly be harmed because of that. Like people passing out, like yeah, that happens at concerts, but still, like that shit is still wild regardless of the fact, even if it is the norm. You know, and yeah, it's a really sad story because obviously, of course, people they're going over there. They're supposed to be supposed to go there, have a great time. They're looking forward to seeing their one of their favorite artists live in concert. From what I've heard and for watching online, Travis is a great performer live. And he really loves his fans. He really does. And but it is just a really sad situation. And I was having this conversation too with somebody the other day about this. Like, this will probably end up like changing like like festivals and like outdoor venues going forward now, where it's just like a venue that holds 20,000, it might limit that down to like maybe like 15,000 or something like that, or the venue might tell the performer like, hey, we're gonna allow you to perform, but we don't want you to encourage like a mosh pit or for all your fans to start going crazy or whatever, because we don't want any type of lawsuits or whatever to happen to Astroworld Festival happen to us. I think this really is going to change, like have an effect on like music festivals going forward.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of more like federal control of how these type of events are gonna be performed now. It's gonna be like, all right, if you want an event, like it just gotta be in a stadium or arena now. Cause I know like with those events, it's more like control, like the fire marshal and stuff is involved like that. So if anything even got close to that, it's fire marshal, fire department there. But like with this, it's just Travis's own thing. Like he's just doing it outside of, yes, at NRG Park, but it's outside of the thing. It's not inside the stadium. So it's just like whatever. So I guess they're gonna make it tighten up. Like if you want to roll loud, they got to be inside the stadium now. Like it's no more that outside parking lot stuff, just open fields anymore. Like we got to have a more containment of that stuff, and that's gonna be suck, but it's gonna be for the better. Like I always never really liked the mosh pit thing, cause like that's not me enjoying the music. Like I get that's what people do, but like I'm not trying to run around punch people. Like I'm trying to dance to the music, bro. So it's just like that might be better because like you hear this at all mosh pits, like people getting hurt, beat up, trampled, broken legs. And I'm like, I guess you enjoy that, but now you see the consequences of that type of energy you put out.
Yeah. Unfortunate situation. Like prayers out to all those at the house and the families, and the ones that are still in the hospital right now. Moving on to new music. Silk Sonic finally dropped. The album is here. Anderson .Paak, Bruno Mars, and Bootsy Collins present An Evening with Silk Sonic. This is a really good album, dude. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of it. I felt like I was in a time machine back to the 70s, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I was disappointed, of course, that we didn't have the full 18 songs that was originally not announced. Yeah, well, like kind of announced when they first posted it, that album was coming. But of the 6 songs that we got, 6 new songs that we got, really enjoyed every single one of them.
Yeah, like you said, it's a good album. I was pleased. Like it wasn't too high, wasn't too long on it. They produced a great sonically album, and they just showed that they worked together. They got a lot of tracks, like you said, it just takes you back to a time in music where it was great. I always say like the 70s is one of the best times of era music ever. So just them able to tap into that, work with Bootsy Collins and able to like recreate their sound in a new way into 2021. So yeah, it's dope. And I love just how Bruno and Anderson .Paak was able to show that they deal with like toxic women too as well. Like they look like the goody two shoe guys, but they're still in bed with thoughts and those women that belong to the streets. And that's just seeped throughout this album as well. So I just like to show like even the Russell Wilson type of dudes is still out here dealing with this type of energy too, bro. Like Bruno Mars was getting some type of hurt off on this album.
Yeah, most definitely with put a smile on. Like
Yeah.
you felt like you felt the hurt in that woman's voice. Like you really felt it.
Even I'm off of re-listening to Smoking Out the Window, even like as it flowed through the album, I'm just listening to this man. I'm like, Bruno, what LA thought are you messing with, bro? Like I thought you would be into like a earthy chick, like a not no dots that be in the club like that. He said she belongs to the city. I said, whoa, Bruno.
Not the streets, the city.
You've been listening to Future, my boy.
He said he spent 45,000 just at Tiffany's and had her kids running around his crib. Bruno was in a bad situation, boy. That wasn't in a bad situation. Enjoyed the hell out of this album. Probably my favorite song. I really like all of these, but probably my favorite, the one that stood out the most out of all of them was probably After Last Night. Yeah, that's like for me that's the one. That's the one.
It just showed you that Bruno was messing with one of them young little thoughts that put that thing on him. He had this thing. He was like, yo, Anderson, we gotta hit this dude, man. This little shorty, she put that wop on me, boy. Like, I got to sing about it. And Bruno was strung up and he was singing about it. But for me, you know, I got to go to the Pain song. So that put a smile on, that put on a smile. It was real pain between two dudes. And they both got their shit off on that. And then I like 777 because it was just a point where on that track, they were just like, let's get on our musician stuff. And they were just having a jam session. And I was like, this is real artistry. And they could just tell they was really having fun creating this album. But like you said, overall, I wish they would have did 18 songs because like a lot of the songs that I really, really like off this album are the songs we heard before, like Smoking Out the Window. And the flow of the album was like, oh, if I would have heard this for the first time last night, I would be like, oh my gosh, they got a classic right now. But they was playing around with the rollout. So I just feel like if they would have rolled the album out better, hold some singles and didn't release enough or made more songs, I would have be ready to call it more of a classic. But I feel like I'm still under the wave of like what Summer did last week, and I've still been bumping Summer's album still. But for week 2 after that, it's a good album. But yeah, those 2 songs for sure is the ones I'm rocking with.
Yeah, I'm still holding that hope that they made 18 songs. Like they made 18 songs. They're just holding on to it right now. And I'm just holding on to hope that like in a month, 2 months from now, they announce the deluxe version that's going to be dropping, and I will be the first to listen to that because this really just put me in a whole lot of that album last night, man. Really just enjoyed the hell out of this. As weird as it sounds, like it really just felt like I was at like a 70s concert for like 30 minutes straight. And it was just fantastic.
Yeah, it was dope.
All right, man. Is there anything else we gotta talk about?
Nah, man, that was it, bro. Not too much really on the music, bro. Just Summer is dope, bro. Summer's different, bro. Like I've just really been into that album, bro. Like she's different, bro. Like really 2 back-to-back classics. I've been arguing with her fans, but it's like, shawty, I love her music. Like y'all not aware of what she's saying on this album. She's admitting to her faults, and y'all just blindly defending some other stuff that she's not saying on this album. But Summer went crazy on that album. Like, just listen to that 4th Baby Mama song again, bro. Like, it was up there with the like top diss tracks of all time, but I'm like, yo, that song is really crazy, bro. Like,
yeah, it is. My first listen, it's a crazy song. Yes. Ridiculous.
I want to like listen 29 now. I'm like, bro, London cheated on me too, bro. I don't.
Oh man. All right, with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that. And we're gonna catch you on the next one.